Well, he did a good job offensively. He ran the team, made shots. He attacked the blitzes, which things that we're going to see on the varsity team. I thought he did an excellent job of reading those situations, taking what the defense gave him. He's a tough little guy. Defensively, we had some breakdowns, and it starts with the ball, and so we can get better defensively. So, but his performance is exactly what we wanted and looking for in that backup, in that third point guard position.
How much of the defensive breakdown was their different style of playing because they did a lot of things that you don't normally see in an NBA game?
No question, Akil. I think that had a lot to do with it as much as anything else. I'm not going to let the players off the hook that easy, but they were a different style, and I'm sure that our players didn't know the history of each player. We tried to give them the shooting percentages, but they didn't know if they were, the history. So, again, that's not an excuse because our defensive principles should still stick no matter who you're playing, and that's what I was more upset about than anything else.
In terms of those guys who got heavy playing time, do you have a good sense of what you're going to do with the 15th spot now?
Not really. I mean, it's still there. We're still looking at it, and our needs are we need a third backup three, but also two to conserve. At the same time, to conserve DC, we need another backup three, and other than playing Norm and DeMar there, and so our needs are there in both positions.
Pascal was talking about wanting to play different positions, or being able to guard different positions and learning how to help and how to get back and things like that. Those mistakes or learning curve aside, are you pleased with the energy that he plays with just when he's out there? It seems like he's constantly trying to do something.
I tell you what, that's where he's got to play. He's got to play with energy. I told him he's got to get 2 layups down the court in a game and just outrun, embarrass the opposing four or whoever is guarding him to do that. And that's what he brings to the game, and he can't get tired. And so, but he's doing a good job of being active, of playing with energy. So we're pleased with the way he's going. He's just got to, again, be consistent with it and cut down on some of the mistakes, the mental mistakes that he makes that most all young players make. And so, we're used to old head being in that position, like a Scola or even Biombo, but we got a young kid. But the one thing he can do better than all of them is play with all-out energy and like his pants are on fire.
We're asking him to be sort of force-fed a couple of different responsibilities. Offensively, particularly, because he was a post guy for his entire college career. How's he coming along in that respect?
He's growing, Doug. And the main thing defensively, we're not asking him to do a lot offensively, but run the floor. But defensively, he's using his God-given ability, his talent to stay in front of guys and contain, guard his yard, so to speak. And he's doing a good job with that. And it's just the nuances of, if he's guarding a perimeter guy, no middle, if he's guarding a post-up guy, when to red, when to front, and when to play three-quarter. Those little things, and, when he's in help position, when is the time for him to go to help? Just reading those situations, which is, not unusual for all young guys' mistakes to make. But again, we like his progress.
Guarding pick and roll wouldn't be something he would have normally done a lot of, but now he's going to have to do it every possession.
Exactly. He's going to, you're right, almost every possession in this league, you're going to see some form of pick and roll. And that's what going to be his growth. And again, what he can make up for his mistakes is playing hard. I don't care if you make a mistake, as long as it's a hard mistake. And that's what he's doing.
Defensively as a whole, and sort of going back to the Cleveland game, because that's when your starters and your rotation guys were in. That first 3.5 minutes, obviously you weren't happy, but after that, did defense finally start to look like it?
It did, Michael. It picked up after the first 2 transition threes that they made. And again, it wasn't like we weren't warned that, hey, Cleveland historically has come out of the locker room on fire, and they do it to everybody. So, but then I just didn't like our transition approach. I thought it was a little bit too casual, and I thought after those possessions we picked it up and did some good things defensively.
Is that the first time, though, sort of this preseason that you've actually felt good about the defense? Because I remember in L.A. you weren't real happy, in Calgary you weren't real happy, and the first game was the first game.
Well, no, we made some mistakes against Cleveland, but again, I thought our physicality, our sense of urgency after the first 3 or 4 minutes were positive. We made less mistakes, I would say, but we're not there yet. But again, I liked our practice today defensively. I thought we did a better job in our half-court play, and still have some work to do in our transition defense. But like everybody else, we got about another 2 weeks to get it to where it needs to be.
What's the concern level that you can't get Sullinger and Ross on the floor?
Well, just the fact that with Terrence, his patella is still sore. And then with Sullinger, his foot is sore, and we're just not going to force it right now. Don't know if Terrence could go right now, but probably Sullinger could probably go if he had to. But we're not going to force it right now. It's just some soreness there that there's no use of forcing it now. He's working on his conditioning. He's staying in good shape. We wish we could have him right now, but again, being healthy is more important than forcing the issue.
In the preseason opener, Terrence, during his halftime interview, talked about dropping weight this summer and said that was something that he wanted to do because he felt heavy last year. Was that something that he had talked about, or was that sort of?
No, that's something he kind of did on his own. He's moving quicker.
Yeah.
I mean, I like he's in good condition, good shape, until he tried the bonehead move of trying to do the 360 in the scrimmage game, open gym or whatever it was, and so he was doing a good job up until that point. But I like Terrence's approach. He's got a seriousness about his approach that is coming, and we wanted to be there last year. But again, he still is a young man, but he's having a serious approach about his game, and that's what you like to see until he had this injury.